Hello and welcome back to my F1 League Racing for Season 2, Round 2. It is, of course, the Italian Grand Prix. If you missed the season opener in Bahrain, make sure you check that out in the card annotation in the top right-hand corner of your screens. But taking a look at the results and the championship so far, currently sitting P4, narrowly missed out on a podium in Bahrain last time out. A screen freeze cost us there, and unfortunately we lost out a position to those guys. But now Ferrari are leading the Constructors' Championship on the other hand. So there is a positive out of it, 5 points ahead of the Aston Martin team, and hopefully me and Marken can go on to challenge for that over the rest of the season. But let's get into our hot lap for the Italian Grand Prix, and once again, it's our second lap, mucking up our third one, just not dealing with the pressure very well. We need to learn about that later on in the season. But a great toe there from Mark, my teammate. Could have been a little bit better, could have got closer to the braking zone of the corner, but down into third and then into second for turn 1 and turn 2 to really sort out the traction on the exit, gaining about 2 tenths so far, and as you can see, really using as much curb as possible on the right hand side to gain every extra millimetre on the circuit in terms of lap time, breaking up the 100 metre board down to 4th, then up into 5th for the right hander to make sure you don't lose the traction on the rear end. Now really attacking the two Lesmos, tucking nice and tidy on the right hand side, allowing the car to flow out on the left, then back over to the right for the second Lesmo, cutting that curb as much as you can get away with and allowing the car to extend out wide, but being careful because that curb can be lethal and will want to send you over to the barrier on the right hand side. Now into Ascari, another corner you've got to attack here. You've got to cut as much as you can on the inside of both the first and the second part. The third part you can kind of just leave because it is very bumpy and it can very easily send you into the wall, but nice and tidy through there, and as you can see, gaining a lot of time on our first lap in the qualifying session. One more corner to go. Parabolica, nice and tight on the inside. Kiss the apex maybe a bit too much. You don't want to run over it. As you can see, it unsettles my car ever so slightly. Tuck over to the right-hand side, the fastest lane to the start-finish line. It's P7 currently in the qualifying session. 120 lap time on the board. What is it going to do for the end of the session? P10. Once again, breaking into the top 10 in qualifying, 7/10 off Marken's lap time, so needing to work on my qualifying. We were up in our third lap there in the qualifying session, but like I said, mucking it up, which is disappointing. But the good news is the race will be starting in intermediate conditions, and it will be intermediate conditions for the entirety of the race. So it means that we don't have to worry about tyre selection. We're all on intermediates, so we can get underway. As we got 5 red lights for round 2, the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, away we go, and it is an incredible start there. Saying goodbye to Flying Whale and saying goodbye to Driver DMB. What a lightning start off the line, and we're up into P8. We're going to have a look actually as well on TJD up the inside into turn 1. Hello, it's another position gained. Maybe have a look around the outside of Smiley, but nothing we can find there. And from qualifying P10 to shooting up to 7th at the start of the race, I'll take it. I would take it. An unbelievable race start. The heart rate is kind of through the roof, up to 140, 150 at the moment, as there's a lot of pressure on the race start. It's so easy to get it wrong. As we have a look on Smalley up the inside and nearly got it wrong there. A little bit of contact between the two of us, but just about got away with it. Very lucky that one, I didn't get damage, and also I didn't upset Smiley's race. But now coming through Parabolica for the end of lap 1, and there's a bit of a train forming with DM Guy, Siney, Jokeboke and Smalley in this train, with DM Guy coming into the pits at the end of lap 1, suggesting that he has got damage in this race. We've also got Driver DMB looking to maybe go for a send up the inside into turn 1. Look at how much later he can brake compared to me into turn 1. We hold it side by side through turn 2, but that outside line gives you so much better traction off of the corner. It's unbelievable. And unfortunately, we lose out the position there. And even TJD potentially now going to be having a look up the inside into the next corner. Can we do anything to defend with TJD up the inside? And it's pretty much job done from here. It's so difficult to go side by side through that second chicane. We have to concede the position. And unfortunately, we got held up so much. The Flying Whale has seen an opportunity. He's gone for the overtake up the inside, and he's taken that as well. So 3 positions that we gained off the start, incredible race start, has just been lost so quickly on the same lap as well. So disappointing, down to P9, but coming through Ascari now. Yellow flag, Driver DMB is out, so that's a free position. Thank you very much. And the virtual safety car has been deployed, which is actually good news, because I think a normal safety car would have helped DM Guy get closer back up to the field and maybe could have got him a better result. Of course, he is the leader on the Drivers' Championship right now. Lap 13, and TJD and Flying Whale come a little bit too close together there, and that's going to allow me to get a great opportunity to slalom my way around them and move up into P6 once again in this race. So gaining positions into a good place, and we've got Saini and Marken into the pits for the time being. Now, we've got a cheeky bit of strategy up our sleeve. We're going to be trying a zero stopper today. That's right, we're not even going to bother coming into the pits. We've predicted that the tyre wear is going to be on the cusp of getting a puncture, and being down in 6th position, I thought it was worthy to go for the risk and see if we can do it. We're on lap 23, and the tyres, I mean, they're holding up okay. They look disgusting. They're very, very worn at this stage, but unfortunately, Marken has arrived to the back of me. And with 5 laps left to go, there isn't a need to defend too hard against him. He's my teammate as well. We are fighting for the Constructors' Championship. So we're going to let him go. And I'm going to try and do an absolute solid, defend like a lion, Fernando Alonso-esque, and try and keep Zafso behind me. As it looks like we've got much greater straight line speed. I believe we were running a dry setup to maximize our qualifying rather than the wet one. And as you can see, it's worked an absolute treat as we've got so much greater straight line speed compared to Zafso there, down in towards turn 1 and holding the position, which is great for the Ferrari team. If Marken can drive away from me, because he doesn't have to worry, because I'm not going to attack him, and we can hold up Zafso, that can allow Marken to gain that gap that Zafso might not ever be able to regain, and hopefully a race win for the Ferrari team in our home race. So the Tifosi will be very happy with that. Zafso not able to go for an overtake here, but we muck up massively, a little bit too deep into the corner. Zafso right on our tail, gives him a great opportunity to go for the overtake into Lesmo. We hold the inside, making it more difficult for him to go round the outside, but the grip and the traction that he has from those fresher tyres is unreal, just like we saw in Bahrain. Nothing we can do. We can't defend against that, and unfortunately we dropped down into P3 with 3 laps left to go. 2.5, let's say. We've now got Saini all over the back of me. So we've got a lapped car ahead. He's not really going to affect us too much unless he can distract Saini and Jokeboke behind us. The good news is, though, Jokeboke does have a 5-second penalty, so we don't need to worry too much about him in this race. But if I can keep him behind me, there's a bit of a safety buffer where Smowley might not be able to overtake me as well. But Saini having a look around the outside now into Ascari. Is he going to hold it? Of course, they've got so much better grip and traction, as we've seen from Zafso, but around the outside, Ascari is never, ever going to happen. So we hold on to the position for the time being, still in P3. Again, just trying to hold on to a podium in the last few laps of this race. Saini having a look around the outside of Parabolica, and again, it just shows how much better those tyres are compared to our ones. He just drives away from us, but luckily with the straight line speed, I can tuck back into that slipstream, follow his toe, use a bit of ERS, and keep Jokeboke behind me. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go for a send here on Saini. We're just too far back, and if I risked it, it would probably just result in a crash between the two of us. But Jokeboke having a look around the outside. We'll get the inside line for turn 2, but as I said earlier, the traction is elite on the outside of turn 2. So it was an easy defense against Jokeboke, but the straight line speed that he has is somehow more powerful than ours. Look at how much he is gaining on me all the way into the chicane. He goes for a big lunge up the inside and makes the apex perfectly. We can't compete against that. We don't have the grip levels. Look at our tyres. Just absolutely disgusting, especially on that rear left. So unfortunately we do lose the position to Jokeboke, but he does have that 5-second penalty, so if we can stay there we do gain a position. Smowley now going for the attack of us on the final lap of this Italian Grand Prix, but can we keep him behind us? So we can make a little bit of contact. He didn't leave me too much room, but then again I was maybe a bit too deep on the brakes, and once again shutting that door, showing us maybe just how aggressive Smowley is going to be in this season. So something we need to watch out with when we do go side by side. But again, nothing we can fight with the old tyres. It was a strategy. It was a gamble. Did it pay off? I think so. We were in a much better position than we would have been if we pitted, but unfortunately it is going to be P6 in today's race, which means we are now 4th in the championship, but Ferrari are still leading the way in the Constructors. 65 points up there, but that's going to do for this race. I will see you next time. Until then, it's goodbye from me.